The world is ending, everybody. Welcome to the end of days. AI is taking over. All of us musicians are packing up and getting out of here. So yeah, thanks for being along for the journey, and I'll see you guys in another life. Just kidding. Yeah. AI this and AI that. It's all anybody can talk about these days. AI's gonna replace musicians. Us musicians are gonna be out of a job. Obviously, we're gonna be talking about AI in this video here today, and why I do not exactly have the same doom and gloom, end of days kind of mindset as all of these other people. That being said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and also I do think there is some concerning factors of AI that we will talk about later. But anyways, now let's get into this video. So, I'm sure you guys have all seen the plethora of different videos and articles and posts and whatever about AI recently, because it's a very big topic right now. The current state of AI is pretty impressive. The stuff that it can do is pretty surprising, and it's kind of, a little bit of a weird sci-fi futuristic vibe going on, which is why I think it's making a lot of people a little bit worried and uncomfortable about the whole thing. But I think before we get too carried away with the AI stuff, it's important to remember what AI actually is. AI is basically just like a computer-generated program that's designed to simulate like human intelligence. It's not like this big scary robot thing that's going to destroy all humans. Yet. Quite frankly, AI is just a bunch of data like any other computer-related program or software. So, I know this video is supposed to be about music and AI, but I think real quick we need to talk about AI art. So the whole AI art thing has been the big thing recently because it's been very much in the mainstream. There's a bunch of different programs and a bunch of different ways that AI art can be made. You can play around with this software and experiment on your own, but I'm not going to go too deep into this. I want to focus on a few specific points. The first one being that this software functions the best when you give it a specific style and very specific instructions. And that's because the way that these programs work is that they filter through tons of pictures and tons of images and data on the internet, and then basically create their own new thing based off of all of the existing data. So if you tell it to create an Andy Warhol style picture of a frog, it'll probably do a pretty good job because there's a lot of examples that it can reference. However, the problem comes in when you try to tell it to create something completely new, because AI is not good at coming up with stuff on its own. It only functions off of the data that we provide to it. So this right here is the fundamental concept of AI, and part of the reason why I personally don't have such a pessimistic outlook on this stuff. These AI programs would not exist without, first of all, us creating them in the first place, and second of all, us creating all of the data and all of the reference images that these AI programs use to do what they do. All of that exists because of humans in the first place. There's this video on YouTube where AI created a new Nirvana song. There was a comment on that video that summed up this whole point pretty perfectly. AI can't exist without the brilliance of a human to replicate. Exactly the point that I'm trying to make here. Part of the whole thing here is that these are just computer programs that we created to translate data into something that we understand. The majority of all these AI programs in the context of music, they're not sentient beings, they don't know what's going on. They're just computers that are designed to perform a task. When these AI programs are creating these, crazy artworks and stuff, they don't care. They don't feel anything when they're creating that. The stuff that the computer actually understands is like 00100010000. That would be how all of this stuff would look if it was only meant for computers to understand, but it's basically being translated in a way that humans can process it, which actually means nothing to computers because computers don't look at an image and feel something. A computer doesn't listen to a piece of music and, feel sad or feel happy or feel energized. Okay. Reeling it back in here, so I think it's important that we assess what AI technology actually does exist for music right now. First of all, there are a lot of programs out there that can come up with a chord progression or a melody or even drum patterns and stuff for you, but honestly, I don't really find these particularly impressive. This is something that's kind of been around for a while, so I think a lot of us are used to it by now, but there actually are quite a few more interesting musical AI tools out there as well. There's one that I think is called Jukebox or something along those lines that basically will create samples for you based on a specific artist or style. So if you want like Elvis or Michael Jackson or Nirvana or whatever, it can create you a sample that sounds like something that one of those bands or artists would make, which is pretty impressive, right? However, there's a couple things wrong with this. The first thing is that a lot of them don't really sound particularly good. There's a little bit of like a weird, creepy quality to some of these, and it just sounds a little bit off. And the other thing ties back to the point that I was making earlier. It's not coming up with new, innovative music genres or ideas. It's taking stuff that already exists, styles that already exist, and just replicating them. And kind of the big one here is that there's a few AI programs out there that can actually create entire tracks for you of like background music for your YouTube videos. I think even like film score, composition type music, and other like relatively simple genres. There are programs that will create entire songs for you. So one of the really big things about the state of AI in regards to music right now is that it's not very good with actual audio recordings. Most of the AI technology and software out there works really good, or somewhat good, for MIDI related things. So most of these AI programs out there can generate MIDI patterns like it's nobody's business. They got that down. But it's because a MIDI file is already translated into something that the computer can understand very well. Whereas an audio waveform is much more complex and there's much more intricacies within there, and it's not translated into something that the computer understands right away. One thing that I forgot to mention here is that a lot of the AI created songs that are out there on YouTube and elsewhere haven't actually been made completely by AI, as sometimes they're advertised, especially with the AI Nirvana song that I was talking about. A computer basically generated the MIDI patterns and then a human played all the stuff. So a lot of the time it's like AI tells you what to do and then human does it, which is actually what you'll see with a lot of the AI producer videos and music making videos out there right now. Most of the intricacies and nuances and little things that you get when you actually record a real instrument, the computer just cannot replicate stuff like that. There's so many things that are involved with the real audio recording, whether that be just like the color and texture of the microphone, little sounds when you move your hands across the guitar or the drum set, or background noise or whatever it may be, and even like pitch bends in your voice and stuff like that. It's very hard for the computer to process any of that stuff, and in the current state that we're in right now, a lot of that stuff is just out of the reach of AI. However, there actually already are a few methods to take an audio sample and convert it into a MIDI file. I think you can do this with programs like Melodyne, and also there's a native way to do it in FL Studio. Although it usually doesn't work that good, it'll give you a somewhat accurate depiction of what notes are in a specific audio sample. So in my opinion, I feel like that's probably where they're going to start with the technology, as far as AI being able to recreate, real actual live audio recordings and samples and stuff like that. I think part of the reason why I don't think that AI will ever replace musicians comes down to something that us as humans really don't even understand about music as it is. And that's basically just the whole concept of, why does music feel real? Why does it feel alive? Why does it feel like there's soul in the music? Why is music so important and so touching to us as human beings? It's because of our feelings, the fact that we can feel as human beings. And AI just can't do that. Like I said earlier, it can't listen to a song and feel sad or feel happy or feel energized. Which reminds me of another comment that I saw on that AI Nirvana video, which somebody said the only thing the song is missing is a soul, which is actually very accurate. When you listen to any form of AI music, there's just something about it that is like almost eerie. There's something that feels very disconnected about, us as humans to this AI generated music that we're hearing. And obviously this could be a subjective thing, but that's just my own opinion. And sure, this quality of life and soul that we feel when we listen to a song can be attributed to specific things, right? We could say the chord progression makes us feel a specific way, or we can even say, the intricacies that I talked about, a squeak of a guitar, or people talking in the background of a recording, make you feel more connected to that recording and make you feel like it's more human and more natural. Sure, we can say that, but I think there's something a little bit deeper about the emotion and the feeling that another human being puts into making a song and making a recording that other people can feel when they're on the other end of that recording listening to it. And those feelings and those emotions are something that I don't think will ever be recreated by an AI, by a computer, at least until it's something that us humans actually even fully understand. Because like I said, all of this AI stuff comes from things that humans have done and humans have created. So if there's something that we don't even understand, or we can't even correctly, articulate or describe, then there's absolutely no way that an AI can do it, because we haven't been able to do it. Maybe I'm wrong about that point. I'm sure somebody will prove me wrong in the comments, but that's at least how I feel. So I think one of the big things that's on everybody's mind about this AI stuff, whether you're worried about it or not worried about it, how is all this AI stuff going to change the music industry and music as a whole? Because I think it would be stupid to ignore the fact that there is going to be some massive changes to music as a result of AI. Obviously, it's impossible to accurately predict the future and know exactly what's going to happen within the next year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. But obviously, we can make a few predictions and assumptions. I think there definitely will be some like specific mundane musical tasks that just get replaced by AI. There will definitely be a time when it's easier to just kind of put those tasks on a computer program rather than have, a human do it. I also think that there will be some music jobs, like people working jobs, that do get replaced by AI as well. Because the whole idea from a consumer perspective is like, why would I pay somebody to do something in a week that I could have an AI do for free in a couple seconds? So probably creating like simple little background music or other genres, and I hate to say it because people aren't going to like this, but I think trap beats will probably be one of the first to be completely AI generated because they're just really simple and it's all like on the computer. Most people don't really record anything. It's usually all sample and plugin based. Really basic kind of 8-bit, video game music type stuff is going to be really easy to recreate, which I think there's already programs that do that. Kind of common sense here, but I feel like the genres that are easier for a computer to recreate are going to be kind of the first ones to go, which leads me to kind of the two ways that I see this AI technology changing music. The first thing is that I could definitely see people just adopting the whole AI thing and basically just working and collaborating with AI very smoothly and harmoniously. And that would be very interesting to watch, AI and humans kind of evolve music at the same time. But then the other thing that I could also see happening is people moving away from AI. So basically, once this AI technology becomes more developed, I can see people specifically trying to do things that the AI can't do to like stand out and separate themselves from all these AI, songs and music and programs and stuff. Specifically, I could imagine live instrumentation and live instruments becoming a lot more popular as a result of all this computer AI stuff getting more popular. So my prediction is that we're definitely going to see a mix of both of those things. But like I said, there's no way to predict the future, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I think all of this really boils down to the fact that everything is constantly changing. The world is always changing all around us all the time. So as technology advances more and more and things get more crazy, it makes it even more important to just be yourself and just worry about the one thing that you can actually control, which is you and your mind and your creative, genius that you have within you. The only way that we can really create truly new and innovative ideas that make sense to us is by our own thought and creation. So yeah, bottom line, don't worry so much about the AI thing. Don't let it stress you out or get you down or anything like that. Just focus on making music, having fun, doing what you love, and that's really the most important thing here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys go check out my Instagram and all the other social media stuff down in the description below, and I will see you guys next time.